I spent most of my life leaning forward, not in posture, in spirit. Everything felt like something to be pushed. Days were pushed, people were pushed, feelings were pushed aside. I moved as if life were a door that only opened under pressure. I believed effort was the same as force. I confused tension with progress. When things slowed, I leaned harder. When they resisted, I tightened my grip. When they broke, I called it the cost of living fully. I mistook urgency for importance. Silence felt like wasted time. Rest felt like falling behind. I spoke quickly. I walked quickly. I decided quickly. I filled pauses before they had meaning. I answered questions before they finished forming. I corrected moments that were never wrong. Inside, everything felt clenched. Even joy carried strain. Even wins felt sharp around the edges. I chased clarity with pressure. I chased certainty with control. I chased peace as if it were running from me. I thought intensity meant commitment. I thought persistence meant never softening. I thought strength was measured by resistance. There was always something to fix, always something to improve, always something to outpace. I rarely noticed where I was. I mostly noticed where I was not yet. The present felt like an obstacle. I lived as if life were a negotiation. Every moment needed leverage. Every outcome needed insistence. Even love carried force. I held it tightly. I shaped it with expectations. I wanted it to behave. I wanted it to stay predictable. I wanted it to reward effort. When it didn't, I tried harder. I applied more pressure. I called that devotion. Looking back, the strain is what I remember most, not the tasks themselves. The way my chest stayed braced. The way my jaw stayed set. The way my thoughts never fully rested. I thought ease was earned at the end. I believed softness came after achievement. I postponed gentleness indefinitely. There was a constant sense of pushing against a current, even when nothing was required. I didn't notice how loud I was inside, not in sound, in insistence. Every desire came with a demand. Every hope came with pressure. Life responded in quiet ways, not with punishment, with distance. Opportunities grew hesitant. Relationships grew careful. Moments slipped through ungripped fingers. I called it bad timing. I rarely called it my grip. I see now how much I crowded things, how little space I allowed for unfolding. I treated uncertainty like a flaw. I treated waiting like weakness. Nothing was allowed to breathe. Not ideas, not people. I was always braced for the next thing, even during good moments. Joy felt fragile. I guarded it with effort. That guarding made it brittle. I didn't trust life to meet me halfway, so I crossed the whole distance myself. The realization didn't arrive dramatically. It came quietly, through repetition, through the same tensions returning, through the same exhaustion resurfacing. I noticed how often force created the opposite result, how pressure invited resistance. I noticed how much energy was spent holding things in place, how little was left for noticing them. I had been treating life like something stubborn, something to be overpowered. In doing so, I missed its quieter language, the subtle openings. Force had become my default setting, not because it worked best, because it felt familiar. Letting go felt unfamiliar, not relaxing, just unfamiliar. I had confused constant effort with care. I had confused urgency with meaning. When I finally noticed, it wasn't regret that surfaced. It was surprise at how heavy everything had been. Life had been moving all along, with or without my pressure. Moments that mattered most were rarely forced. They arrived when attention softened. I see now how force narrows perception, how it turns experience into a task. Living that way made everything feel conditional. as if ease needed permission. I wasn't wrong for trying. I was simply tense. Life responds differently to different touches. Pressure leaves marks. Softness leaves space. Space allows movement. I spent years overpowering moments that only needed room, years tightening what was already holding. Looking back, I see a life lived with clenched hands, full of effort, short on ease. Not empty, just strained. The force never made life deeper. It only made it louder inside me and quieter everywhere else. The realization settles without drama. Much of the struggle was self-applied. Living with too much force did not make life stronger. It made it rigid, and rigidity cracks quietly.